guys, welcome to my channel. This is Lindy, aka Paleobarbie. If you are new here, this is going to be a meal prep collab that I am doing with Hope over at Mission Keto. She is an awesome person. If you're not on her channel already, I'm going to have the link down below. Go follow her on Instagram, go subscribe to her channel. And if you're here from her channel, thanks for stopping by. I hope you'll stay and subscribe down below. She is doing a video all about chicken, and I'm doing one all about beef. So these days are really tough times for grocery bills and making things stretch. So we're showing some different ways on how you can make things. And we thought, why not do it this way, right? So it's a meal prep video, but it's a recipe video. It's got lots of things going on. I hope you guys enjoy it. And head over there to her channel. Her channel is all about, keto and weight loss as well. But she's just like all of us. She's, we all went through this thing 2 years ago, this, pandemic and all that. And she lost a bunch of weight in 2017. And now she's trying to make her way back to where she was before on keto. And she's doing great. And her husband is over there doing stuff with her. And he's actually doing carnivore now. And he did the BBBE challenge and did awesome. So go watch that video of theirs. That's pretty cool. And they have a cute little puppy and all the things. So make sure you head over there and give them some love on their video and their channel. So yeah, let's just get this video started and we will make some things and see what we can come up with. All right, guys, for this first recipe, we're going to do meatballs. Meatballs are super versatile is what I'm trying to say. You can do so many things with them. You can have them Italian style, you can do them Asian style, you can do whatever you want with them. And so I have an Italian, when I'm making like Italian style, I'll add some other things like Italian seasoning to these or whatever. But when I know I'm going to freeze them and use them quite often, especially if you can get ground beef on sale, right now with ground beef prices going up and you catch it on sale, buy as much of it as you can and put it in your freezer. But something like this you can make ahead of time. It's great for meal prep. It's great to just to have other things to do with ground beef besides burgers and tacos, right? I have some other recipes here on my channel that you can check out in the My Recipe playlist, like my meatloaf and some other things. But this one is super easy and cheap. So we're going to take 2 pounds of ground beef. It doesn't matter what kind. It doesn't matter what fat content, whatever you like, whatever you can afford, whatever you were able to get on sale. We're going to put this in our bowl and we're going to add 2 eggs to it. I'm going to add, to keep this like a neutral flavor palette, salt and pepper, a little bit of garlic, because I like garlic in whatever flavors I'm going to use these meatballs for, whether it's Italian, Asian, or whatever. And I like to put this mushroom seasoning in mine from Trader Joe's. I like putting this on any kind of meat. It's delicious, but if you don't have this, don't use this. Don't worry about it. This is what's in it somewhere. But don't worry about it if you can't get that. It's fine. So we're going to mix all this together, 2 eggs, and we're going to have 2 tablespoons of pork rind dust or pork panko, whatever you want to call it, to help be a filler. So we're going to do that. We're going to mix it all together. We're going to put it on a cookie sheet and bake it at 375 until they're nice and brown. When they cool, we can throw them in a Ziploc bag and freeze them. And then it's super easy to just throw them in the crock pot with whatever type of sauce you want them with for that day. And they'll be ready for dinner. So anyways, let's get these started. All right, everything is in the bowl. Now I'm just gonna get my hands in there and get it all mixed together and start making my meatballs. Oh, as far as seasonings go, I just do it to taste. So do however much you like. Probably about a teaspoon of each, a little extra of the garlic and a little extra of this that I used. But you don't, like I said, have to use that. But if you're going with these 3, use the amount that you like. And I'm gonna go ahead and mix this up. All right, I've got everything mixed into the bowl. I'm gonna use this scooper to make sure that I have pretty even meatballs. I put them, I'm gonna put them on a cookie sheet that I put parchment paper on, sprayed it with a non-stick spray so that it sticks. I learned that tip from Nicole Burgess, which it's a genius tip, and I'm so glad because I always fight with this stupid stuff. But anyways, you're gonna make your meatballs, fill it up. You're just gonna bake it at 375 until they are brown. And remember, you're gonna be heating these again in the crock pot if you wanna use them that way. So it's okay if they're a little underdone anyways. But also, I don't like mine dried out. I kinda like moist meatballs, so you do you. I'm gonna have mine pretty brown though. But then I'm gonna let them cool and freeze them. And we'll talk about different kinds of sauces that you can put on these and how you could do it besides just having, you know, spaghetti and meatballs type of stuff. So let me get these on this cookie sheet and I'll show you what they look like. All right, so these are all on here. I got 23. I could have probably got 24 if I'd have taken some off of a couple, but there's pretty even. I'm gonna go ahead and bake these, and then when they cool, we'll be able to stick them in the freezer. So I'm gonna go ahead and throw these in the oven. All right, so here's some ideas for sauces. Once you have frozen your meatballs and you wanna pull them out of your freezer, throw them in your crock pot in the morning, you could do barbecue style meatballs with some barbecue sauce of your choice, sugar-free, whatever. Those are yummy, and you could do like, add cheese on them or whatever you want to later. Bacon, you know, endless. And then for Asian ones, what I do is use this sugar-free teriyaki marinade, G-Hughes, and throw that in the crock pot with it. And then I serve it over cauliflower rice. We add some like green onions on top, diced up, and voila, you have a yummy little meal. I also like to add ginger and Chinese 5-spice in the crock pot as well. But you know, there's always the good old Rouse or whatever your favorite marinara is, you can throw in there with it, and then have it with your favorite keto pasta, and add you some Parmesan cheese, etc. Or you can do a meatball bake in the oven with your sauce, your meatballs, and some mozzarella, etc. Another thing, if you're having a party, we used to do this before keto. We used to take barbecue sauce and grape jelly, and you put that with the meatballs in the crock pot, and you serve it for an appetizer. So you could do the same thing, just using sugar-free ones to do an appetizer for a party or something like that. But the options are endless. You can choose whatever sauce you want. You could even do, you know, a cheesy sauce, make your own and throw that in there. Whatever floats your boat. It's super easy, super versatile, and ground beef meatballs are, you know, if you can get ground beef on sale, you can throw them in the freezer, and you can portion out however many you want to have easy peasy meals. So just some ideas of what sauces you could use for your meatballs. Or another take I've done before is I take salsa and put in there with my meatballs, and then we have the normal taco toppings on top of it. So it's like a Mexican meatball type of thing, and cheddar cheese, sour cream, guac, whatever you like, served along with it. So just another idea. All right, these are cool, so I'm gonna go ahead and put them into Ziploc bags. All right, guys, for this next recipe that we are meal prepping, we are making Cowboy casserole. So in the old school days, you would use cream and mushroom soup. You would use potatoes or hash browns. So we're gonna change it up for keto. And these are the things you're gonna need. You can change out some things for things if you don't have them at your store. But for the potatoes, the hash browns, we're using daikon radishes. So I'm gonna peel these and then shred them. Instead of Lipton onion soup mix, which is another thing that's in it, I'm just gonna use some freeze-dried ingredients, some onion, some garlic, add some Worcestershire. I'm also gonna add salt, pepper. I'm gonna use the Trader Joe's mushroom seasoning, but you don't have to use that. And I'm gonna use garlic powder, some bone broth, heavy whipping cream. You're gonna need some shredded cheese of your choice. Cheddar is always great. Some ground beef, some sour cream, and some xanthan gum. I think I may add a can of Rotel to mine as well, because I've always liked something a little spicier. So what I'm gonna do now is just go ahead and brown my ground beef and start peeling these radishes so I can shred them up. All right, so here is the shredded daikon. I put salt and pepper on it and sprayed it with some nonstick coconut oil spray on the bottom and on top of it. I'm gonna put this in the oven just to cook it up so that we can use it in the casserole. All right, so I've got those in the oven browning, and all of the ones I showed you, I have shredded all of them, but I'm not gonna need all of that. I'm gonna save some for like breakfast hash browns. And this, I'm going to go ahead and make my cream mixture in here with the ground beef so we can get all that nice goodness that's on the bottom of the pan into it as well. So let me get this started by adding these other ingredients. All right, I'm gonna start with putting a half a cup of the beef bone broth in here just to get all the goodness off the bottom that the meat left. All right, so that's heating up. I've got that and the broth in there. I added the freeze-dried onion and garlic in there, and we're just gonna give it a good zhuzh and get all that stuff off the bottom. I also added the Worcestershire, and now that it's got a good simmer to it, I'm going to go ahead and add about a cup of heavy whipping cream. Went ahead and added a little more of the mushroom powder. Like I said, if you don't have that, don't worry about it, but it also has salt, pepper, garlic in there as well. I went ahead and drained a can of the Rotel, or the fake Rotel from Aldi. I'm going to go ahead and put that in there. Get this all mixed up. All right, so that's in, and I'm going to go ahead and put in about a teaspoon or 2 of xanthan gum and mix that in. Gonna get this mixed in real good, and then we're just gonna let this simmer until it thickens up a little bit. All right, so this is exactly how you want it to look. I turned the heat off, and now I'm gonna add 1/4 cup of sour cream to this and just set it aside until the hash browns are done. All right, so now the hash browns are done, they're tender. We're going to layer this. We're gonna put a layer of the meat mixture down first. I've sprayed this glass pan, and then we'll put some of the hash browns on top and some cheese, and then do another layer, and then we're gonna stick it in the oven. It's gonna be so good. All right, half down. Now we're gonna put some hash browns on there. Now a layer of cheese, and then we repeat. All right, all done. Going in the oven, 400-degree oven for about 15 or 20 minutes till nice and bubbly. All right, 20 minutes in my oven, and look at that goodness, y'all. So the creamy meat mixture that I made in this, you could also take that and put it over some sort of keto noodles to make sort of like a stroganoff. You could leave the tomatoes out if you don't want those in there, or Rotel or whatever. But that's another thing that you could do with this. Just trying to find lots of different ways to use beef, ground beef, to get us through these times and be able to spread out the groceries. All right, for this recipe, I'm making stuffed bell peppers, and I'm going to use 1 pound of ground beef, some bell peppers. I probably won't need both total packs, but I got 2 just in case. We'll see how many I can fill. I've got the brown rice palmini hearts of palm pasta from Natural Heaven, or you can use cauliflower rice. Some diced tomatoes of some kind. I'm going to use Rotel, fake Rotel with this recipe, but sometimes I use the Italian diced tomatoes, just whatever I have. Salt, pepper, garlic powder, a little bit of Danos, and then some shredded cheese. I'm going to use mozzarella this time, which I already have shredded up in here. But I'm going to go ahead and mix all this together, stuff the peppers. After I cook the peppers, I'm going to stick the peppers in the air fryer for about 2 minutes to soften them up, and then I'm going to stuff them and stick them in the oven at 350 and let them bake until they're nice and tender on the inside. All right, so for the bell peppers, I'm going to cut the tops off, clean out the inside a little bit, and then just cut a tiny bit off the bottom so that they can stand up, so they don't fall over when they're cooking. All right, so I'm browning my ground beef ahead of time. Instead of having it cook inside the thing, it'll make it cook quicker. Also, I cut up the tops to the bell peppers and put them in here with it. And I'm going to let all this cook down. I've got all my seasoning in here. Then I'm going to add my Rotel and my rice. Get all this nice and combined together, and then we will stuff the peppers and top them with cheese. All right, so this is cooked down a little bit, so I'm going to go ahead and throw in the Rotel, and now stir that in, and then put in the rice. All right, everything's incorporated. I'm gonna go ahead and put a little bit of the cheese mixed in with it, and then I'm going to stuff the peppers and top them with the rest of the cheese. All right, got my peppers out of the air fryer. I'm gonna go ahead and stuff them and top them with some cheese. All right, so I probably could have done one more pepper, but I'm just gonna save that for something else. I'm gonna go ahead and top these with cheese and stick them in the oven at 350 until everything's bubbly, and these are cooked a little bit more, because they're tender, but they're not quite like I like them for my stuffed peppers. And then we will eat them. All right, these are done and looking delicious. Guys, for this recipe, we're going to be making my goulash recipe with a few adjustments because I'm out of something. This is what we're going with. You're gonna need a pound of ground beef, or pound to pound and a half. This is way more than I need, so I'm gonna be separating this up for something else. A bell pepper, about a half an onion chopped, 2 cans or 1 large can of diced tomatoes, or just 1 can if you prefer. I had some grape tomatoes that needed to be used, so I just roasted them in the oven, so that's what I'm going to use instead. I'm going to use about a cup and a half of, you would do just plain tomato sauce, which that's one of the things I'm out of, so I'm going to just use some Rouse. You're going to need some macaroni, so I'm going to be using the macaroni out of this, from the mac and cheese from Perfect Keto, because I already have it and I want to use what I have. So it's all about saving that money, right? I'll just save this packet for something else. But you can use any kind of low carb macaroni, gluten-free macaroni, whatever macaroni. If you're not keto, whatever macaroni you want. We used to use the good old regular kind when I was a kid. We're gonna use Worcestershire sauce, I can't even talk today. Worcestershire sauce, which I don't have out yet. Garlic powder, salt, pepper, some bone broth, and some bay leaves. And we'll be getting all this cooked up, and I'll show you how we're going to do it. So first thing I need to do is chop these up and brown my meat. All right, so while this is browning, I wanted to share with you another recipe that I don't even have to make separately, just to tell you about it. Another thing you can do with ground beef that I love doing, which is great for meal prep, it's great for lunches or dinners, is to brown up some ground beef. Just season it however you want it. Usually when I'm doing this, I just use salt, pepper, garlic, something like that. You know, some basic seasonings. And then I steam up some broccoli, which I'll insert a picture of what this looks like here, in the microwave, or however you do your broccoli, you do you. I just throw the steamer bag in the microwave. And then I put the ground beef in my bowl, put the broccoli in there with it, and I make a spicy mayo out of whatever mayonnaise you use. I mean, I either use Primal Kitchen or Duke's. And then I mix this chili garlic sauce with it to make it spicy. And then I just drizzle it on top. And there you have an easy peasy, another recipe that you can do with ground beef. It's all in one container. You can pack it up for your lunch for work, or save them for dinners for the week. And it's super simple. So that is just one other recipe that I wanted to throw in here while I'm making this. While this is cooking down, I'm going to go ahead and get my water boiling for my new macaroni, so it'll be ready for when I'm all done with this part. All right, so now I'm going to add my tomatoes and my sauce. I'm going to get that cooked in there, incorporated, and then I'm going to add a little bone broth as well, and my bay leaf. I'm going to mix this up. By the way, the full recipe for this is in my e-cookbook, which the link is down below, and it shows exactly what you need. And yeah, so anyways, I'm going to mix this up and then get it simmering, and also put my bay leaf in here, a couple bay leaves. This is simmering, and I'm just going to turn this down and put a lid on it and leave it alone for a little bit. Then I'll take the bay leaves out and put the macaroni in it when it's ready to be finished up. All right, so I'm just going to let this simmer for a few more minutes. Then I'll take the bay leaves out, and I'm going to add my macaroni that's done and mix it together, turn off the heat. So let me let this simmer, and then we'll put the macaroni in. All right, so here is the goulash. I'm just going to take it off the heat and let it cool. And then when you put it in a bowl, you can put some cheese on top if you like, which is really good, by the way. Hear the kids in the background, grandkids. But anyway, this is how we like it in our house. Guys, thanks for watching this meal prep collab video that we did with Hope. I hope you guys enjoyed it. I hope you guys got some good value out of it and can learn to stretch your budget by, you know, making a lot of things with the same type of meat and freezing them and meal prepping for the week and all the things. So leave a comment down below, and if you're from Hope's channel, leave a comment down below and say hi, that Mission Keto /Hope sent you, and let me know. I'll talk to you guys in the next video. Thanks for watching so much.